In the first season of The Lord of the Rings of Power, we were introduced to a faction of Númenóreans known as the Faithful. While the majority of Númenor is consumed by ambition and pride, seeking power and immortality, the Faithful remain true to their ancient beliefs and values. Elendil, played by Lloyd Owen, is the most prominent representative of this group, but with Season 2 now well underway, fans are left wondering who exactly are the Faithful. What do they stand for, and why are they so important to the story? In this deep dive, we'll explore everything you need to know about the Faithful, what they believe, who they serve, and why they play such a critical role in the unfolding narrative of the Rings of Power. Drawing from Tolkien's expansive legendarium, we'll uncover the deeper layers of this mysterious group. At their core, the Faithful are Númenóreans who remain loyal to the Valar, the spiritual beings who govern much of the world in Tolkien's mythology. They are sometimes called the Elendili, meaning elf friends in Quenya, the Elvish language. While most Númenóreans have turned their backs on these traditions, seeking instead to rival the immortality of the elves, the Faithful embrace the natural order, including death, which they see as a gift from Eru Ilúvatar, the supreme god of Tolkien's world. This devotion places them at odds with the majority faction in Númenor, known as the King's Men. These men have rebelled against the Valar, seeking to extend their lives indefinitely, even attempting to conquer the undying lands of Valinor. The Faithful, however, remain steadfast in their belief that death is a natural and even sacred part of life, not something to be feared or fought against. This tension between the two factions, Faithful versus King's Men, drives much of the political and social dynamics in Númenor. It's a classic struggle between those who wish to defy the divine and those who humbly accept their place within the cosmic order. The Faithful not only honor the Valar, but also worship Eru Ilúvatar, the god of Tolkien's universe. Before the tyrannical reign of Ar-Pharazôn, Númenórean kings would lead their people in worship at the mountain of Men-Eltama, located at the center of Númenor. This was a sacred practice, an acknowledgement of Eru's role as the creator and supreme being. However, Ar-Pharazôn, influenced by dark forces, put an end to these rituals and eventually outlawed worship altogether. He even imposed the death penalty for those who continued to climb the mountain in secret to honor Eru, thus forcing the Faithful to practice their religion in hiding. The show's subtle exploration of this aspect of Númenórean history, particularly through the character of Elendil, enriches the story by showing the depth of their struggle. Elendil's name itself means elf friend, which not only aligns him with the Faithful, but also with the elves, who the King's Men view as enemies. As the Rings of Power progresses, we see how Elendil's ties to the Faithful and his friendship with the elves set him apart from the rest of Númenor, and we're given glimpses into how this tension will shape the future. As the Rings of Power moves forward, Sauron's influence over Númenor becomes more evident. In Tolkien's original texts, Sauron plays a critical role in corrupting the hearts of Númenóreans, particularly King Ar-Pharazôn. After being captured and brought to Númenor, Sauron, appearing in a fair form, tricks the king into believing that Eru Ilúvatar is a myth created by the Valar to keep men under their control. This deception leads to the rise of Melkor Morgoth worship, which results in human sacrifices and further persecution of the faithful. It's here that the story takes a dark turn. In Tolkien's Silmarillion, Sauron encourages Ar-Pharazôn to invade Valinor itself, promising that by doing so he could achieve immortality. The faithful who reject this blasphemy become targets of the king's men, many of whom are slaughtered as sacrifices to Melkor. The island of Númenor spirals into chaos, with the faithful being persecuted and their numbers dwindling. Yet despite all this, they remain true to their beliefs, an act of defiance that sets them apart as some of the most noble characters in Tolkien's mythology. The cataclysmic downfall of Númenor, which Sauron orchestrates, is one of the most dramatic events in Tolkien's legendarium. Ar-Pharazôn, consumed by pride and fear of death, leads an ill-fated invasion of Valinor. In response, Eru Ilúvatar himself intervenes, causing the island of Númenor to sink beneath the sea in an apocalyptic event reminiscent of the biblical Great Flood. While most Númenóreans perish, the faithful, led by Elendil, survive. Before Númenor's final days, Elendil's father, Amandil, had sailed to Valinor to plead for mercy from the Valar. Though Amundil's fate remains unknown, his warning to Elendil prompts him to prepare a small fleet of ships. When the great wave comes, Elendil, his sons Isildur and Anarion, and other faithful Númenorians escape and make their way to Middle-earth. It is here in Middle-earth that the legacy of the faithful truly takes root. Elendil and his sons establish the kingdoms of Arnor and Gondor, and their alliance with the Elves remains strong. This alliance becomes crucial in the War of the Last Alliance, in which Elendil and Isildur fight alongside the Elves against Sauron. Though Elendil dies in battle, his son Isildur goes on to defeat Sauron, cutting the One Ring from his hand. The Rings of Power sets up the faithful as critical players in the Second Age. Though their numbers are few, their loyalty to the Valar and their connection to the Elves make them key to the fight against Sauron. Elendil and Tamriel, played by Cynthia Addai Robinson, who is aligned with the faithful, represent hope in a time when Númenor is teetering on the brink of ruin. As Season 2 unfolds, the tension between the faithful and the king's men will likely increase. The faithful are still largely in hiding, but their decision to support Galadriel Morfydd Clark in the fight against Sauron in Middle-earth will have far-reaching consequences. Their actions have already led to significant losses. Isildur is presumed dead, and Miriel has lost her sight. Yet these setbacks only highlight the stakes of their struggle. The faithful's story doesn't end with the downfall of Númenor. Their legacy is carried on through generations, culminating in the return of Aragorn to the throne of Gondor at the end of the Third Age. Aragorn, a descendant of Elendil and Isildur, embodies the same virtues of loyalty, faithfulness, and humility that defined his ancestors. His eventual victory over Sauron and his marriage to Arwen, an elf, symbolize the culmination of the faithful's alliance with the Elves and their unwavering commitment to the Valar's will. In many ways, the story of the faithful is a reflection of Tolkien's broader themes of faith, sacrifice, and the importance of resisting evil no matter the cost. Their steadfastness in the face of overwhelming opposition serves as a powerful reminder of the strength of conviction and the enduring power of hope. As the Rings of Power continues to develop the story of Númenor and the faithful, fans can expect even more twists and revelations. The show's exploration of these themes adds depth to the lore, drawing viewers deeper into the rich tapestry of Middle-earth. Though we know the ultimate fate of Númenor, the journey of the faithful and their fight to remain true to their beliefs is far from over.